Captain Aaron sat in the pilot's seat of the starship Endeavour, staring out at the endless stars stretching across the void. The crew around him was busy with their tasks, adjusting sensors, checking systems, and logging readings. But Aaron's eyes were fixed on one point far ahead, a small, shimmering blue planet orbiting twin suns. "This is it," he said softly to himself, almost forgetting he wasn't alone. The reports were right. Lieutenant Mara, seated across the cabin, looked up from her console. "You've been staring for 10 minutes straight, Captain? Are you sure you're ready for first contact?" Aaron turned to her, a small smile playing on his lips. "Ready or not, this is humanity's chance to reach a new civilization. We have to try." Num. 1. Roundturned. The Endeavour descended through the planet's atmosphere with a grace that only decades of human engineering could achieve. Below them stretched a landscape unlike anything they had ever seen. Lush forests that shimmered like crystals, rivers that glowed faintly, and mountains that rose like pillars of glass. The planet seemed alive, as if it were welcoming them. When they landed, a soft hum filled the air, vibrating through the ship and the ground beneath it. The crew stepped out, their boots crunching lightly on the crystalline soil. The sky above was painted in shades of gold and purple from the twin suns, casting a surreal glow over the terrain. Aaron led the way, his heart beating fast with anticipation. "Remember," he said to the crew, "we are guests here. Our goal is to understand, not to fight. Show respect, and we may learn more than we ever imagined." As they walked toward what appeared to be a city in the distance, structures rose from the ground like giant crystals, reflecting the sun's light in every direction. The buildings were elegant and organic, twisting upward with curves that defied human architecture. Every surface glimmered, yet it felt natural, not artificial. Then they saw them figures moving in the distance, graceful and ethereal. They glided rather than walked, and their forms seemed to shift with the light, making it hard to tell their true shape. The crew froze, unsure whether to step forward. "They're alive," whispered Ensign Leo, awestruck. Aaron nodded. "Yes, and they are aware of us." The figures drew closer. As they approached, the humans could see their features more clearly. Tall, with slender bodies that shimmered with a translucent glow. They had long limbs and delicate faces. Their eyes were large and luminous, reflecting both light and intelligence. The air seemed to hum around them, as if the very atmosphere recognized their presence. And then, at the center, came the Queen. She was unlike anything Aaron had imagined. Towering slightly above the others, her form radiated calm power. Wings of gossamer light stretched behind her, moving in slow, mesmerizing patterns. Her face was serene and beautiful, unlike any human's, yet strangely familiar in its expression of intelligence and emotion. Aaron felt his chest tighten. Every rule he had learned about diplomacy, every protocol for first contact, vanished in an instant. He could not speak. His mind struggled to form words worthy of this moment, but nothing came. Finally, in a whisper barely audible, he said, "You're so beautiful. I can't speak." The Queen stopped. Her eyes, glowing softly like twin moons, turned toward him. She tilted her head slightly, clearly surprised. A soft, melodic sound filled the air, a vibration that resonated in the humans' minds. It was not threatening, it was curiosity, pure and clear. The rest of the crew exchanged nervous glances. "Captain, did you just—" Mara began, but Aaron raised his hand. "Shh," he said. The Queen moved closer, her steps light, almost floating. Her attention remained fixed on Aaron. Though the crew could not understand her language, they could feel her thoughts brushing against their minds, questions, wonder, and something akin to delight. Arin realized that she had never seen humans before, yet she was not afraid. He felt a strange warmth in his chest, a connection that transcended words. He had spoken honestly, from his heart, and somehow, that honesty had reached her. After a moment that felt both eternal and fleeting, the queen extended a delicate hand, palm open, in a gesture of invitation. Arin glanced at his crew, who nodded, trusting him to take the first step. Slowly, he walked forward and placed his hand lightly on hers. A shock of sensation passed through him, not painful, but electric. Colors danced behind his eyes. And he felt memories that were not his own. Images of the crystalline city, the forests, the rivers, and creatures unlike any on earth. He understood, in an instant, that this being held the collective memory and culture of her people. The queen withdrew her hand and bowed slightly, a sign of acknowledgement. Arin instinctively bowed in return. The gesture, though simple, bridged a gap larger than space itself. The crew followed, carefully observing the queen and her entourage. They noticed subtle gestures, small lights flickering along the alien's skin, as if they were communicating in a language of patterns and emotions. Arin knew that learning their ways would take time, but the first step, trust, had been made. As the humans walked into the heart of the crystalline city, Arin felt a mixture of awe and responsibility. This was not just a first contact, it was a chance for humanity to show what it truly could be. Brave, honest, and capable of wonder. At the center of the city, a large platform rose, made of crystal that glowed faintly from within. The queen motioned for them to approach. Arin hesitated, then stepped forward, whispering once more, not from awe this time, but from respect. "Thank you for letting us be here." The queen paused, studying him. Then, for the first time, she smiled, a small, radiant curl of light that seemed to touch the humans' hearts. Arin felt his own lips lift in response, knowing that this smile marked the beginning of something extraordinary. The humans were not just visitors here. Somehow, they had become participants in a story that stretched beyond their understanding. A story of trust, beauty, and the possibility of a connection between species that could change the galaxy forever. As the twin suns began to set, casting long, shimmering shadows across the city, Arin looked at the queen one last time before retreating with his crew. He knew that this encounter was only the beginning. Whatever came next, humanity had made its first mark, and it was one of honesty, courage, and awe. And somewhere deep in the glowing heart of the alien city, the queen remembered the human who had spoken from his soul, a voice that was small, yet carried the weight of an entire species' hope. The crystalline city shimmered under the twin suns as Captain Arin and his crew followed the alien queen deeper into her world. Every step they took revealed wonders beyond imagination. Roads of clear crystal twisted like ribbons through gardens that glowed with soft, pulsing light. Strange plants moved gently, sensing the human's presence, while tiny floating orbs drifted like fireflies, illuminating the path ahead. Arin's heart was still pounding from his first encounter with the queen. Her beauty was only part of what had held him spellbound. There was also the quiet power in the way she moved, the intelligence in her gaze, and a calm that made even the most skeptical crew members feel at ease. Lieutenant Mara whispered, "I've never seen anything like this. It's alive, but peaceful." Arin nodded, keeping his eyes on the queen, who walked ahead with an elegance that seemed almost effortless. Though they could not speak her language, she had already begun communicating through gentle gestures and small pulses of light from her skin. Arin sensed her curiosity, her interest in humans, and most of all, her acknowledgement of his earlier words. The queen stopped at a large plaza, filled with structures that looked like crystal sculptures, twisting into shapes that defied logic. She raised a hand, and the humans felt a strange, calming vibration in their minds. It was a thought, simple, but clear. "Welcome. You are here, and I see you." Arin bowed slightly, unsure if he was following the right protocol. "We are honored to be here," he said quietly. His words, though simple, carried the truth of humanity's sincerity. The Queen's eyes glowed softly. Then, in a movement so subtle that only Aaron noticed, she tilted her head toward a nearby structure. It was a tall tower of crystals, spiraling upward like a twisting waterfall of light. Inside, holographic images floated in the air, showing the history of her people. Aaron and his team stepped inside, their eyes widening at the sight. The images told stories without words. Beings working together to create art, structures, and devices of unimaginable complexity. They saw peaceful cities rising from the forests and mountains, societies that valued knowledge, beauty, and harmony above all else. Ensign Leo whispered, "It's incredible. They've been here for centuries, and they've built all of this without conflict." The Queen's presence seemed to answer him. Though she did not speak aloud, her thoughts reached Aaron's mind in a gentle flow. Conflict is a choice. Harmony is a practice. You may choose which path you take. Aaron felt a shiver of respect. Humanity had often looked to the stars with the desire to conquer. Yet here was a species that had thrived by choosing peace and understanding. It made him wonder what humans could become if they followed a similar path. The Queen led them further into the city. At a central plaza, she paused and gestured for them to sit on crystal benches that seemed to float above the ground. Aaron took a deep breath. "We came to learn, and to show that humanity can be trusted," he said, meeting the Queen's gaze. "We do not seek to harm. We only wish to understand, and to share what we know." For a moment, there was silence, but it was not uncomfortable. It felt like the city itself was listening. Then, the Queen extended her hand once more, this time toward a glowing crystal in the plaza's center. Light flowed from it in soft streams, forming patterns that floated above their heads. The humans realized these patterns were messages, lessons about her people, their values, and the way they lived. Aaron reached out, touching the light gently. A wave of understanding passed through him. He could see how the Queen's people had avoided destruction and grown through cooperation, empathy, and creativity. It was a world where knowledge and beauty were the highest achievements. Lieutenant Mara leaned closer. "It's like they are teaching without words," she said, her voice filled with wonder. "Yes," Aaron whispered. "And it's working. I feel like I understand them already." The Queen's gaze softened. Aaron noticed a subtle glow around her wings, a sign of approval. Though she could not speak in human terms, he could feel her acknowledgement of his respect and curiosity. After some time, the Queen led the humans to a large hall, filled with creatures from her world, some smaller than humans, some larger, all moving gracefully and interacting peacefully. The aliens did not seem afraid. Instead, they observed the humans with mild curiosity. Aaron knelt slightly, showing respect. "We are visitors," he said. "We do not wish to disturb you. We only wish to learn." One of the smaller aliens approached and extended a glowing tendril, touching Aaron's hand. A connection sparked in his mind, a shared thought of trust, calm, and curiosity. He realized that the Queen's people had developed a way to communicate without words, using emotions, light, and subtle energy. "It's beautiful," Aaron whispered to Mara. "They don't just speak. They share understanding." The Queen guided them to a terrace overlooking a glowing forest. The twin suns were setting, casting long shadows over the trees, and the rivers glimmered like liquid crystal. Aaron felt a deep sense of peace here, as if the worries of humanity and the galaxy were far away. For a long moment, he stood silently, gazing at the Queen. Then he spoke softly, unsure why he felt compelled to say it aloud. I think humanity could learn so much from you." The Queen's eyes brightened, and she tilted her head. Once again, a wave of thought reached him. Perhaps and perhaps you will teach us in return. Aaron realized she was curious about humans too. Not just about what they could do, but about their hearts, their courage, and their creativity. This thought thrilled him. Humanity had always sought to explore, to create, to survive, and now, they had the chance to show their best qualities to an entire civilization. As the stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, the Queen motioned for the humans to rest. They settled in crystal pods that seemed to adjust perfectly to their bodies. And Aaron reflected on the day's events. He had come here expecting diplomacy, perhaps even fear and tension, but instead, he had found understanding, curiosity, and a connection that transcended words. He thought back to the moment when he had whispered, "You're so beautiful, I can't speak." That small, honest expression had opened a door. It was a reminder that sometimes sincerity and awe could communicate more than any carefully planned speech or protocol. Aaron closed his eyes, feeling the gentle hum of the city around him, and allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had taken its first real step into a larger galaxy not through conquest or power, but through respect, courage, and the willingness to be vulnerable. Tomorrow, he knew, they would begin to learn even more about the Queen's civilization. But tonight, he allowed himself to marvel at what they had already discovered. A species that thrived on beauty, understanding, and peace, and a queen who had stopped, surprised, because a human had spoken honestly from the heart. For Aaron, that moment would remain with him forever. It was not just the first contact, it was the first bridge between two civilizations. Built not with weapons or politics, but with honesty, respect, and the shared wonder of discovery. And somewhere, deep in the glowing heart of the city, the Queen remembered him too. A human who had spoken truth in a moment of awe, and in doing so, had begun a bond that might change the galaxy. The next morning, the crystalline city shimmered with the light of the twin suns, casting long, colorful shadows across its winding streets. Captain Aaron and his crew awoke to the soft hum of the city, a sound that seemed alive and comforting at the same time. The alien queen awaited them at the central plaza, her wings glowing faintly as she observed the humans with quiet intensity. Aaron felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Yesterday had been awe-inspiring, but today promised a deeper challenge. He had no doubt that the Queen respected them. Yet he sensed that respect alone would not define humanity's place in this world. The Queen extended her hand toward the humans, and once again, a soft pulse of thought reached their minds. To understand fully, you must show your worth. Actions speak where words cannot. Aaron nodded, understanding immediately. "We are ready," he whispered, meeting the gaze of his crew. They nodded back, determined to prove that humanity was more than curiosity. It was courage, creativity, and compassion. The Queen led them to a massive dome of crystal, taller than any structure on Earth. Within it lay an enormous labyrinth of glowing pathways, twisting corridors, and shifting light. The humans could feel the energy in the air, a subtle vibration that seemed to test their focus and resolve. "This is the test of understanding," Aaron interpreted, speaking aloud for his crew. "We must navigate it, learn from it, and show what we are capable of." Lieutenant Mara stepped forward, determination in her eyes. "Then, let's begin." Inside the labyrinth, the crew quickly realized that it was not a test of strength or weapons. It was a challenge of the mind, heart, and teamwork. Paths shifted as they walked, presenting puzzles that required logic, creativity, and empathy to solve. At one junction, a river of light blocked their way. Floating platforms appeared only when each member of the team trusted one another to step in sync. Aaron took a deep breath and led the team across, counting their steps and timing their movements. When they succeeded, the Queen's energy pulsed in approval. Even without words, the humans could feel that she was impressed not by their speed, but by their ability to work together. Further into the labyrinth, the challenges grew more complex. A room filled with crystalline creatures blocked their path. The creatures were harmless, yet curious and unpredictable. The team realized that to move forward, they had to show understanding rather than aggression. Aaron knelt, extending a hand and observing the creature's behavior. "They're testing us," he whispered. "They want to see if we can respect life in all its forms." Mara followed his lead, and soon the creatures accepted their presence, parting to reveal a glowing exit. Once again, a pulse of approval reached the humans' minds. As they progressed, Aaron noticed subtle lessons hidden in each challenge. The Queen was not only testing their intelligence and coordination, she was observing their values. Would they take the easiest path if it meant leaving others behind? Would they act selfishly or with courage and care? At one point, the team reached a chamber where holographic images of other civilizations appeared. Some had fallen to war and greed. Others had thrived through cooperation and compassion. A voice-like thought entered their minds. The path of power leads to ruin. The path of empathy leads to strength. Aaron felt a shiver of understanding. Humanity had always struggled between these paths. But here, in the heart of the Queen's world, the choice was clear. "We have to show that we can choose wisely," he said. "That we can rise above fear and selfishness." The final test of the labyrinth was the hardest. A rift of energy split the chamber, glowing with a dangerous intensity. Beyond it lay a key, a crystal that pulsed with knowledge, and the Queen's trust. The team realized that to retrieve it, they would need to work together, each trusting the others completely. Aaron looked at his crew. "This is it. We succeed only if we trust one another fully. No hesitation, no fear." They moved as one. Ensign Leo balanced on a narrow ledge, holding a beam steady while Mara guided Aaron across. Each step required focus, courage, and belief in the others. When Aaron finally grasped the crystal, a wave of light filled the chamber. The Queen's approval was undeniable, radiating warmth and respect. Emerging from the labyrinth, the humans were met by the Queen at the plaza once more. Her wings glowed brighter than before, a sign of her satisfaction. Though she did not speak, her thoughts conveyed admiration. "You have faced uncertainty. You have shown courage. And you have respected life. You may learn more, for you have shown the heart of humanity." Aaron bowed deeply, feeling pride and relief. "Thank you," he said quietly. "We will not disappoint you." The Queen's presence lingered, and the humans realized that the labyrinth had not been just a test, it had been a lesson. The Queen was teaching them the values that sustained her civilization: courage, creativity, empathy, and trust. These were the qualities that could allow humanity to thrive in a galaxy full of unknown challenges. Back at the central plaza, the crew rested, absorbing the magnitude of what they had achieved. Mara turned to Irene. "I didn't think it would be possible to understand them so quickly. Yet somehow, this Queen has shown us a way to connect beyond words." "Yes," Aaron replied. "It's more than words. She's showing us how to act, how to think, and how to be better than we were yesterday. This is what makes us human, and why we can matter in the galaxy." As the twin suns began to dip toward the horizon, casting long shadows across the crystalline city, Aaron felt a growing sense of purpose. Humanity's first steps had been brave, but now they were learning the deeper lessons: that empathy, creativity, and courage were stronger than fear and weapons, that understanding others could unlock opportunities beyond imagination. The Queen led them to a terrace overlooking a vast forest of glowing trees, each one alive with energy. Her gestures were gentle, guiding the humans to observe, to feel, and to reflect. Aaron could sense the pride she felt not only in her civilization but in the potential she saw in humanity. He thought back to the moment when he had whispered his first words to her. "You're so beautiful I can't speak." That honesty, that simple act of awe, had opened the door. Now, through actions, humanity was proving that it was worthy of trust, curiosity, and respect. As night fell, the humans settled in crystal pods for rest. The city hummed softly, a lullaby of energy and light. Aaron closed his eyes, letting the lessons of the day sink in. Tomorrow would bring new experiences, new challenges, and perhaps a chance to show the Queen even more of what humanity could offer. But tonight, he allowed himself to marvel at what they had already accomplished. A first contact that had become a shared understanding. A test that revealed the best of humanity, and a bond forming between species that could shape the galaxy's future. And somewhere in the luminous heart of the city, the alien queen remembered the humans, their courage, their creativity, and the sincerity that had begun with a whisper, and she knew that this was only the beginning. The crystalline city glowed under the morning light of the twin suns, but the air carried a tension that was unusual for the serene world. Captain Aaron and his crew had spent the previous days learning from the alien queen, observing the culture, and proving their courage and wisdom. Yet today, the tranquility of the city would be tested. A sudden tremor shook the ground beneath them. The humans stopped in their tracks as the shimmering streets quivered. From the forest beyond the city came a distant, low hum, growing louder and more menacing by the second. Aaron's heart raced. "Something is coming," he said, voice steady but tense. "And it's not friendly." Lieutenant Mara scanned the horizon with the ship's handheld sensors. "It's a fleet, or some kind of creatures. They're moving fast and heading straight for the city." Before anyone could react further, the first wave arrived. Strange beings, unlike anything the humans had seen before, surged from the forest. Their bodies were armored in dark, jagged exoskeletons, and their glowing eyes reflected hunger and aggression. They moved with terrifying coordination, yet there was no sound, only the rhythmic beat of their advance. The Queen emerged from the plaza, her wings spreading wide. She radiated energy that seemed to calm her citizens, but her expression was one of concern. Aaron realized this was more than a test. It was a moment where humanity could prove its bravery and wisdom. "Captain Aaron." The Queen's thoughts flowed into his mind, clear and urgent. "Protect the city. Use your knowledge, your courage, and your will." Aaron drew a deep breath. "Everyone, listen carefully. We protect this city, not just for them, but to show what humanity can do. Trust your training, trust each other, and act wisely." The crew split into teams, using both human technology and the alien knowledge they had learned. Ensign Leo coordinated defensive drones. Mara guided energy barriers using the city's crystalline systems, and Aaron moved to the forefront to observe and direct the action. The attackers struck first at the outer walls, and the humans realized that brute force alone would not stop them. They needed strategy, creativity, and courage. Aaron directed his team to use the city's natural environment, the reflective crystals, the flowing energy channels, and the creatures that lived alongside the Queen's people to their advantage. At one moment, a group of attackers surged toward the plaza where the Queen stood. Without hesitation, Aaron raced forward, positioning himself between the Queen and the threat. He raised his arm and activated a device that emitted a bright pulse of energy, designed to disorient but not harm. The attackers paused, momentarily confused, and the humans seized the opportunity to push them back. Mara coordinated with the Queen's citizens, directing them to guide humans and protect key areas. Ensign Leo deployed drones that created holographic illusions, tricking the attackers into paths that led them away from the city's heart. Every move required trust, focus, and split-second decisions. Despite the chaos, the humans did not falter. They moved as a team, combining instinct, technology, and quick thinking to protect the alien city. Aaron noticed how the Queen observed them, her eyes glowing brighter with each successful maneuver. It was not only admiration, she felt it was respect. The battle reached its peak when a massive creature broke through the barriers, charging directly toward the queen. Aaron's heart pounded. Without thinking, he sprinted forward, dodging debris and energy bursts, and grabbed a device designed to neutralize the creature, without harm. With precise timing, he activated it, and a wave of energy enveloped the beast, calming it instantly. The creature froze, then retreated peacefully into the forest, leaving the city unharmed. The queen stepped forward, her wings spreading fully, and the humans felt a wave of energy wash over them. It was a mix of relief, admiration, and gratitude. Through the chaos, the humans had demonstrated something far greater than physical strength. They had shown courage, quick thinking, compassion, and the ability to protect life without unnecessary destruction. Aaron allowed himself a brief moment to breathe, watching as the remaining attackers retreated, confused by the humans' ingenuity and the city's defenses. He turned to his crew, pride shining in his eyes. We did it. Together, humanity has proven its courage and heart today. Mara smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. We didn't just survive. We showed that humans can fight wisely and care for others at the same time. The queen approached them, her energy glowing softly. Though she did not speak aloud, her thoughts reached Aaron clearly. You have acted with wisdom, courage, and empathy. You have protected what is precious. Humanity is worthy of trust and friendship. Aaron bowed deeply. Thank you, Your Majesty. We only did what any human would do. Protect those who cannot protect themselves, and act with honor. The queen's wings shimmered in approval. Around them, the citizens of her world began to emerge from hiding, their faces expressing gratitude and relief. Children of her species approached, curious and fearless, showing the humans that trust had been earned. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, the city's glow returned to its peaceful state. Aaron and his crew walked among the citizens, helping where they could, repairing minor damage, and sharing simple gestures of kindness. Each action reinforced what the queen had already seen. Humanity could be brave, clever, and compassionate, even under the greatest pressure. Finally, the humans were invited to stand before the queen once more. Her gaze held warmth, approval, and a quiet pride. Aaron felt a deep connection, knowing that this was not just a recognition of their actions, but of humanity itself. He thought back to the moment when he had whispered those first words to her. You're so beautiful, I can't speak. That small act of honesty had opened the door. And now, through courage, teamwork, and empathy, humanity had proven itself worthy. The queen's thoughts flowed into his mind one last time that evening. Today, you have shown the heart of humanity. You have defended life without destruction. You have acted with wisdom. You may learn more, for you have shown what humans can be. Aaron nodded silently. We will continue to learn, and we will continue to grow. As night fell, the crystalline city shimmered under the light of distant stars. Aaron lay in his pod, reflecting on the day's events. Humanity had faced danger, made hard choices, and demonstrated courage beyond what they had thought possible. He realized something profound. True heroism was not about weapons or dominance. It was about understanding, empathy, courage, and the willingness to act when others could not. Humanity had the potential to shine not just as explorers, but as protectors and friends of the galaxy. Somewhere in the glowing heart of the city, the alien queen remembered them, the humans who had fought wisely, acted bravely, and protected life. She knew that their story was just beginning, and that the bond between their species had grown stronger through courage and compassion. Aaron closed his eyes, feeling the hum of the city lull him to rest. Tomorrow would bring new lessons, new challenges, and new opportunities to show what humanity was capable of. But tonight, they had proven themselves not just to the queen, but to the galaxy itself. And in that quiet, shimmering city, humanity had left its mark, not with destruction or fear, but with bravery, empathy, and the courage to act with honor. The twin suns rose gently over the crystalline city, casting golden light across towers and gardens that glimmered like liquid glass. Captain Aaron and his crew stood at the central plaza, watching as the alien queen moved gracefully among her people. The city was alive, vibrant, and at peace again, thanks to the courage and wisdom the humans had shown. Aaron felt a deep sense of purpose. Humanity had faced its first real test among the stars, not just a test of skill, but a test of heart. They had learned, adapted, and acted with courage, showing that humans could rise to challenges greater than themselves. The queen approached, her wings spreading in a gentle arc, and the humans felt her presence fill the plaza with warmth. Though she did not speak aloud, her thoughts entered their minds, clear and powerful. You have proven yourselves worthy. Today, you showed bravery, wisdom, and compassion. You may join the path of understanding, the path of allies. Aaron bowed deeply, humbled. Thank you, Your Majesty. Humanity seeks not only to explore but to protect, to learn, and to grow. The queen's eyes glowed softly, acknowledging his words. She gestured toward a grand staircase that led to a platform overlooking the entire city. On that platform, representatives from various civilizations, aliens of many forms, some similar to her own kind, others different, entirely stood waiting. Aaron realized this was a council, a gathering of the galaxy's most advanced species. Humanity had been invited. Mara whispered, awe in her voice. We're actually going to meet them. All of them. Yes, Aaron replied. And we'll have to show the same courage and wisdom we've shown here. But I believe we can. The humans followed the queen to the platform. The other species regarded them with curiosity, some cautious, others intrigued. Aaron noticed a silent question in their eyes. What could humanity offer? What did this young species from a small blue planet bring to the galaxy? Aaron took a deep breath. He stepped forward and spoke clearly, projecting not only words, but the sincerity of his heart. We are humans. We are explorers, creators, and learners. We have faced fear and uncertainty, and we have chosen courage, empathy, and understanding. We hope to share these qualities and to learn from all of you. A moment of silence followed. Then, one by one, the alien representatives nodded, impressed by the humans' honesty and humility. The queen's energy radiated brightly, a signal that humanity had passed this final measure of trust. Next, the queen led them to a chamber filled with glowing crystals. Each crystal contained knowledge, histories, art, and technology from countless civilizations. Aaron could feel the magnitude of the opportunity. Humanity was being offered the chance not only to learn, but to contribute, to become part of a larger galactic community. As they moved among the crystals, Aaron reflected on how far humanity had come. A few days ago, they had been strangers, in a strange world. Today, they were allies, trusted for their courage, creativity, and heart. He thought back to the first moment with the queen, the whispered words that had bridged two species. You're so beautiful, I can't speak. It had been a simple truth, and yet it had mattered. That honesty had opened a door. And now, through action, humanity had shown it was worthy of trust, respect, and friendship. The queen extended her hand toward the humans, inviting them to touch a large crystal at the center of the chamber. When Aaron placed his hand on it, a surge of energy flowed through him. Knowledge and understanding passed into his mind not all at once, but in a way that allowed him to absorb it gradually. He saw glimpses of advanced civilizations, of technology powered by harmony rather than destruction, of art and music that resonated with emotion and thought. The humans realized that the Queen was sharing the essence of her civilization with them, trusting humanity to carry it forward. It was not a gift given lightly, it was recognition of their potential. A chance to rise as protectors, learners, and friends in a galaxy full of challenges. Ensign Leo looked around, eyes wide. This is incredible. We're learning so much. And it's only the beginning. Yes, Aaron said quietly, but we also have a responsibility. This knowledge must be used wisely. We must show that humanity can act with courage, wisdom, and care, no matter what challenges come next. The Queen watched them, her presence radiating quiet pride. She had seen the humans' courage in battle, their creativity in solving problems, and their empathy in protecting life. Today, she saw them learning from her civilization and preparing to share what they could with the galaxy. As the twin suns set, the humans were invited back to the central plaza. The Queen held a ceremony to honor their bravery and commitment. Light flowed around them, soft and glowing. As citizens of the city, both young and old, approached to offer gestures of friendship and welcome, the humans felt a deep connection to this world, knowing that they had earned not only trust, but the beginnings of a lasting bond. Aaron turned to his crew. "This is more than exploration," he said. "It's a chance to show what humanity can truly be: brave, wise, and compassionate. If we carry this forward, we can change the galaxy, not through power, but through courage and heart." Mara smiled. "We've learned so much already, and yet, it feels like we've only just begun." Aaron nodded. "Exactly. Today, we proved ourselves. Tomorrow, we continue to grow, to explore, and to act as humans who can make a difference." The Queen extended her hand one final time, a gesture of trust and connection. Aaron felt a wave of warmth and understanding. He knew that humanity's journey among the stars was just beginning. But now they had allies, knowledge, and a chance to be recognized not for conquest or power, but for what they could contribute: courage, creativity, and empathy. As the humans prepared to leave the city, Areen looked back one last time at the glowing towers and the Queen standing at their center. He whispered softly, remembering the first words that had opened the door, "Thank you for trusting us." Somewhere, deep in the crystalline heart of the city, the Queen smiled. Humanity had shown its heart, and she knew they had the potential to shine among the stars. The Endeavor lifted from the city, rising into the sky as the twin suns dipped below the horizon. Aaron watched the alien world fade into the distance, feeling pride, awe, and hope. Humanity had taken its first true step into a larger galaxy, not through weapons, not through fear, but through courage, honesty, and the willingness to act with honor. As the stars stretched out before them, infinite and sparkling, Aaron knew that the future was full of possibilities. The bond they had formed with the Queen and her civilization was just the beginning. Humanity had earned its place, not by conquest, but by showing the very best qualities of their species. And somewhere, across the galaxy, other civilizations were beginning to take notice. A small blue planet had risen beyond its world, carrying courage, creativity, and the undeniable truth. Humanity could be a force for good, a protector, and a partner in a universe full of wonder. Captain Aaron closed his eyes, feeling the hum of the ship, the pulse of the stars, and the quiet knowledge that humanity had begun to write its story among them. The adventure was only starting, and the galaxy would soon see the truth about what humans could be.